Alright guys, today we are going to be reacting to German high school culture shock from an American exchange student. Let's jump in, guys.
Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caroline and today I'm going to be comparing German and American high school. So I've been in my German school for about 2 weeks now, and this is just kind of what I've noticed, like the big differences, and I just wrote them down, so if you see me looking down, that's why. Okay, so my first German school culture shock is that everyone dresses really nice. Like, I have barely seen any German teenagers wear athleisure, like leggings and stuff. Basically everyone wears jeans and nice tops too. Like, everyone looks very put together. Another thing that I find kind of funny is the guys usually wear tighter jeans, like skinny jeans, and the girls wear the baggier mom jeans. Another big difference is that they don't have AC in the school, so you have to open windows. So at least at my school, my gymnasium, there's 2 people that sit by windows that open, and every time you go in that class, you have to open the window. A really big difference in German schools is that you don't switch classrooms. For example, back in my high school in the US, if I had biology, I would go to the biology room where the biology teacher was. If I had math, I would go to the math room. But here in Germany, you have a designated classroom that you stay in with the same people, and then the teachers are the ones that switch. So
that is an interesting concept, huh? That means if a teacher doesn't come, they still in that same route, they cannot go anywhere. That is a very interesting concept.
So when I have math class, I'm with the math teacher, and then the math teacher leaves and the English teacher will come in. Another big difference, and this one I really like, there's very frequent breaks in German high school. So the classes are 45 minutes long, but sometimes there's double sessions, at least in my school. So if I have 2 math classes in a row, we do those, and then we have a 5 to 10 minute break, and then we have a longer 30-minute lunch break or something like that. But basically there's breaks after every class, so you can talk and eat and just hang out outside and have a break from
decompress. So you decompressing basically. And that's a great, you know what's crazy, we never talk about this, but in America you take lessons, right? You go from one class to the other. The kids have no time to decompress. I never thought about this, but I read a lot. I do a lot of stuff, and I understood the power of decompression. Imagine you do composition, playing the piano. I play the piano. All of a sudden, I'm gonna jump and start doing something else right away. It doesn't work like that. You need time to decompress and then start over. I think Germany's already figured out.
In my American high school, we only had 1 break, and that was lunchtime.
Yeah.
The only other breaks we had were switching between classes, and those are only 4 minutes long, so you basically have time to go to the bathroom and go to your class.
Yep.
So I really like the breaks at my gymnasium. Another big difference is that there's no cafeteria. So in my American high school, the school day was 7 hours long, and then you would have a lunch break in the middle of the day, 30 to 45 minutes, and you would eat and catch up on schoolwork if you had to. And there's a designated room for that.
Yep.
You go to the cafeteria, you buy your food, or if you brought lunch, you eat your packed food. So that's what my American high school was like, but in my German...
And mind you, some states it's a little different. Some state the cafeteria is free, and some state you can not buy anything, or you have to buy everything. It all depends.
Gymnasium, there is no cafeteria, there's no designated eating place. Usually during the breaks, people just snack on a protein bar or apples or something like that, and they just stand and talk with their friends while they eat. And specifically at my gymnasium, there's a little food stand, and you can buy some typical German, I guess baked goods there.
Yep.
So there's a Dumpfnudel, I don't know how to say it right.
What is that?
It's there. So there's a Dumpfnudel, I don't...
What is that? What is that? It's like a biscuit.
How to say it right. pretzels, and then there's some candy bars too. So you can buy food, but there's no designated
Yeah.
lunch area. Another
And a
really
lot of Americans don't realize this. How much privilege is that? Having even a cafeteria. But in most states, they just give food for free. Yeah. Yeah, guys. Most states, they will give you the food for free.
major difference between my American and German high school is the time. So like I said earlier, in my American high school, I woke up at like 6 to go to school, and then I would be there for 7 hours. And in my German gymnasium, it's not like that. Let me go grab my schedule real quick and that will explain it better. Okay, so this is my schedule. So as you can see, every day is different. The classes I take are different, how long I'm in each class, the time of day I get out of school. So for example, on Monday, my classes start at 8:05 and end at 15:15, which is 3:15 for my American viewers. So that day is like a typical 7-hour school day. But on like Tuesday, my classes start at 8:05 but end at 13:15. Which is 1:15.
1 o'clock.
So it's a much shorter school day. I hope that explained it decently, but in the US, every day is the same, and then at half of the year, the classes change. So for example,
and we're not in the top 10 actually.
in the US, I would have biology, Spanish, calculus, and social studies. And those would be my only 4 classes for the whole first part of the year. And then at halfway through the year, it would change to something different. But every day is the same, every day is the same length. So overall, it's a really big difference between the US and Germany. Another rule that I was kind of shocked by that's pretty different. In Germany, there's very strict phone usage rules in school. Like, you're not even supposed to have your phone out on lunch break. Like, you're not supposed to have it out.
And that's something that we had to just implement in the United States because we have dumb people here. There's a reason why Germany does this. There's a reason why.
On school grounds, basically, at all. Most people take their phones to the breaks, but if you have them or you get caught with them in the classroom, like, they get taken away. In comparison to the US, that's really different because in the US, normally some teachers would let us have our phones on the table. As long as we weren't like calling someone or texting someone while the teacher was speaking, it wasn't really that big of a deal. But here it's a lot more strict. My last difference, I haven't seen that much of at my school, but at other gymnasiums, like other people in the program have told me, smoking is really common among teenagers here in Germany, and not like smoking vapes, like smoking cigarettes. And it's so common that teachers and students will be smoking cigarettes like right outside the school ground.
What?
Which is like completely unheard of in the US. Normally people will like vape in the bathrooms, which obviously isn't allowed, but people do that. And then overall, no one really smokes cigarettes in the US, especially not younger people. I think it's pretty unfortunate that it's so common here because it's obviously not good for you, but it's definitely a big difference and it's been interesting to see. Oh, I also have one more difference that I just thought of. So language classes are much different here than they are in the US. So I took like 3 years of Spanish in high school and I only learned really basic vocabulary and phrases. Here in Germany, like in your first year of taking a language, Spanish for example, you're already forming sentences. The books for the class are all in Spanish. The teachers strictly speak in whatever language they're teaching, which I think is a much more effective way to learn because it's basically by immersion because you're forced to learn faster so you can understand what the teacher is saying. And it's definitely a lot more effective because students here are bilingual, trilingual. Most Germans here speak multiple languages. So I think learning languages is definitely something the US can do better.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all.
Yeah, you should be able, I should have been able to learn 4 or 5 languages. It's just the system itself has so many holes that I had to just go back and re-educate myself. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Great video from this young lady. She did it. She nailed it right in the coffin. She did very nice. She did very nice, and hopefully, everything goes well with her. She get the experience that she need, come back to the United States, and just become a better person. The smoking stuff, man. I don't know about that, Germany. I don't know, but that's kind of weird. But if they do it moderately, with moderation, I guess it's fine. I'm not a smoking person. My family used to smoke a lot, man. My dad used to smoke a lot and start having heart problems, stuff like that. I had to stop. So, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I would love to hear you guys' opinion. I will see you in the next one.